in this government. It's not only about construction, it's not only about reviving the economy. It's very good, open some projects and so on, but to revive the whole political dialogue and to revive the whole political arena and to talk to the young people, convince them, because they have many fears, I believe. They have many fears. We should give some confidence for our people, for our partners outside, to also to prepare even the regional situation, because we are seeing a very destabilized situation in the Middle East. Yes. I believe we have to take more steps towards stability in the Middle East. We have to take more initiatives towards Libya, towards Syria, towards Iraq, towards Yemen, which is in a very critical situation right now. Without this, Egypt will be isolated. This will affect our economy, will affect our political situation.
Yes. Now, Dr. Lashin, whether we're ready or not, that's something that we'll only find out later if the government believes that. If the government doesn't believe that doesn't believe that it's ready, so they will probably delay it. If they think that they are ready, they will.
It is not the government which you can delay it or not. It is the condition which we are finding ourselves. The doctor says that we are too late. There are too many things. We are big conditions, and I am the one who is living in the field. Okay, and I say that yes, we are late. Yes, we have about 100 political parties, but what kind of political parties which was composed during the last 40 years? Only the strong political parties, which are the new parties, which started with at least 5,000 members.
Which is what I want to ask you about. Now, assuming the scenario that they will actually carry on with the parliamentary elections as scheduled. Now, one of the main sort of lists and coalition are formed by Zuri, with having some of the former National Democratic Party, the Ahmed Shafiq-led party, the Egyptian National Movement Party, the Negm supported party, the Free Egyptians. Do you feel that this is probably one of these stronger lists? Do you think that they will have some sort of competition in front of them, or do you think that more or less this is how the new parliament will be drawn on?
The name you mentioned indicates that they are strong people who have positions in the past. And there are strong people who own money, and there are strong people who can affect the outcome of the elections. And there are strong people who are forming a union or a coalition or whatever it is called to win the elections. So if we go through this, well, what was the result? What was the need for two revolutions? In both of them, I participated myself as a professor, okay, and as an Egyptian citizen. Well, we need new faces. We need new politics. We don't need the old minds. I know some of these people. I lived with some of these people. I know their mentality. I know how they are thinking, Well, Egypt will not reach the points. Egypt will not reach the gate which will open the road to the world and to participate as a free, good, a strong country, unless we use the new minds, unless we use the new people with new ideas to work for new Egypt. We cannot run a new machine by an old mentality. It cannot work. We have to use our minds, Hany?
Yes.
Okay. So we need some time. We need support. Not from the government is obliged to support the new political parties which is started by youth in order to increase the political participation of the Egyptian people. If my colleague is saying that the political party is maybe representing 5% of the Egyptian population, what does this mean? This means that the people are not participating in the political parties enough to decide or to say that we have a real democracy. So we need to pave the way for the real democracy. How? By supporting these political parties and by pushing these people to be members in the political parties. And people to be members of the political parties, they have to pay the fees of the membership. They cannot pay the fees of the membership. They cannot pay it. I'm talking seriously. I'm talking openly. I'm talking freely. They cannot pay the 100 Egyptian pounds per year. Not you and me. No, for the 100, but you can buy a sandwich by it. No, some people This composes a problem for some people. So we have to solve these problems and who is serious, continue. Who is serious, okay, we will have the way to. We are, as a political bodies ourselves, will put him or aside.
Definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, not just the interior affairs and the parliamentary elections that we're focusing on, we're also focusing on the international efforts by the presidency. And President Sisi vowed actually to make Egypt an economic hub in light of all the international visits that the presidency has been undertaking. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi vowed to make Egypt a hub of economy and promises to bring in comprehensive reforms in the subsidies in the next 5 years to get the country back on track of the economic recovery. El-Sisi was addressing the audience at the opening ceremony of the World Future Energy Summit in Abu Dhabi on Monday. He said the country would make use of its geographical position and infrastructure to make Egypt an economic hub, adding that it would expand its reliance on renewable energy to 20% 2020. He said there were successful wind and solar energy projects in Egypt. El-Sisi said the country was developing a unified investment roadmap and would be highlighted during an economic conference in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh in March. He said Egypt seeks to develop an energy strategy and realize reforms and diversification of traditional energy used in power plants. He said an inclusive plan for energy subsidy reform would be implemented within 5 years and includes protecting the poor. El-Sisi said the availability of energy and managing the demand for it is one of the main priorities on the Egyptian development agenda. He stated that the limitations of traditional energy resources necessitate using renewable sources of energy, solar and wind, and called upon the attendees to participate in the Economic Development Conference in Sharm el-Sheikh in March. He explained that the energy strategy includes diversifying the traditional sources of energy used in power plants through a balanced and sustainable combination, including clean usage of coal, nuclear energy sources, as well as natural gas and oil. El-Sisi Egypt works on the developing national strategy for energy that fulfills the needs of the local market and achieves the targeted growth linked for the national economy. It must also secure its power supply and protect the environment and be sustainable. El-Sisi specified that Egypt's energy development program includes producing 4,300 megawatts from power plants that produce electricity from solar and wind energy within the next 3 years. On issues confronting the Arab world, he said Arab nations have to be careful, stressing that Egypt considers the security of the Arab Gulf region a red line and a part of its national security, adding that terrorism is a world phenomenon that spreads its dangers across societies. Sisi called upon the international community to face terrorist acts not just with security and military solutions, but also with developmental solutions on the economic and social levels, as well as the cultural sides that include the renewal of the religious discourse and purifying it from any erroneous ideas that lure some into using violence to express opinions or impose orientations. A number of delegates from across the world attended the energy summit being held in the backdrop of feeling of the oil prices. The president received the Sheikh Zayed Energy of the Future Award. He traveled to the United Arab Emirates on Sunday for a 2-day trip to attend the summit and meet UAE officials. The inaugural ceremony was attended by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President and the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and the ruler of Dubai.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Focusing on the international affairs and the presidency's efforts to actually establish strong foreign relations, also on the political and economic fronts simultaneously. Mr. Negm, now the president kicked off the year, and even before the year, with multiple visits: France, Italy, China, recently the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, even a lot of ministerial visits to Ethiopia, and also the government and Egypt received Pope Matthias of Ethiopia as part of efforts to actually normalize and find a solution, a political, diplomatic solution to the Renaissance dam being constructed in Ethiopia. Do you feel that all of these things will actually help Egypt become the economic hub that the whole country is dreaming of and the president is promising, along with obviously the expansion of the Suez Canal? Or do you think that these are merely main formalities that a new regime and a new president, after a few years of turbulence, needs to re-establish internationally?
Well, it's positive. We see an active foreign relations right now. It's very positive. But a change needs more than this. A change needs changing ideas, changing mechanism, changing persons who taking lead in this process. So without changing our ideas, we cannot, as my colleague said, we cannot renovate something with the old mechanism or the old fashions. We have to recreate new methods in our foreign affairs. I'm afraid that doing making these efforts and making these visits with the old fashion would not be very positive. I can say that we need to talk to other bodies in the outside world. We should not, as we used to do, to only governments in our foreign relations. We have to talk to think tanks. We have to talk to universities. We have to talk to civil bodies in these countries. We have to talk to syndicates. We have to talk to opposition parties in this. So we would engulf the whole political system in these countries, because talking the old diplomacy or traditional diplomacy is not sufficient anymore. Most of the other countries changed these situations. We have to talk to everybody. So talking to governments or traditional or formal relation is not enough in this case. We need to talk to businessmen, we need to talk to universities and so on. So I believe we cannot applicate this with the old people and the old mechanism in our foreign relations. Of course, it's positive. We need to establish our relations. We need to enhance our relations. We have to talk to to new friends, to new partners, to look for, as I said months before, we need a new coalition in the Middle East. We need a coalition for peace, development, and stability in the Middle East. We have to take the lead. We cannot live in